This program is brought to you by generous donations from the community and sponsored by Stifel Financial.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Forbes, your host for tonight's edition of Nevada County Now. Every year, millions around the world don green attire, attend parades, and raise a glass in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, is credited with bringing Christianity to the island in the 5th century. Born in Roman Britain around the late 4th century, Patrick was kidnapped by Irish raiders at the age of 16 and taken to Ireland as a slave. After several years, he escaped, but later returned as a missionary, spreading Christian teachings and, according to legend, using the three-leafed shamrock to explain the concept of the Holy Trinity. March 17th marks the date of St. Patrick's death in 461 AD. Initially, the day was observed as a religious feast in Ireland, with church services and quiet reflection. Over time, however, the celebration grew well beyond religious observance. The first recorded St. Patrick's Day parade actually took place in St. Augustine, Florida in 1601, led by Spanish-Irish settlers. However, the holiday gained widespread popularity in the 19th and 18th centuries, especially in the United States, where Irish immigrants organized grand parades in cities like New York, Boston, and Chicago. Today, St. Patrick's Day is celebrated worldwide with famous traditions such as dyeing the Chicago River green, massive parades in Dublin and New York, and the annual lighting of landmarks in emerald hues. Though modern festivities often include revelry, music, and food, the holiday remains a symbol of Irish pride and resilience. Whether through religious observance, cultural celebrations, or simply wearing a bit of green, St. Patrick's Day continues to connect people to Ireland's rich history and traditions. Don't go away. We will take a short sponsor break and be right back.
Thank you to Stifel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer a higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stifel.com.
Last week, the NID Board of Directors reviewed the latest update from General Manager Jennifer Hansen on PG&E's infrastructure repairs to Spaulding 1 and 2 powerhouses. When PG&E dewatered the tunnel again to start repairs on the second discharge horn in Spaulding 1, they found a piece of this steel grate in the tunnel, according to NID's Hansen. So now a new issue, the lower intake tower, which is underwater and brings water to both powerhouses, is added to the decades-old infrastructure. Water flowing from Lake Spaulding to the South Yuba Canal will be very minimal, so we will be living off of water shortages from Scotts Flat and Rollins, Hansen said. Essentially, water from Lake Spaulding is not available during the repairs, according to PG&E. The repairs are slated to be completed by late June, then testing of the repairs will take place. Normal flows from Spaulding 1 are planned for early August. Spaulding 2, which predominantly feeds Scotts Flat, has repairs slated for 2026. NID's general manager went on to say that the delays in infrastructure repairs could potentially have some challenges refilling the reservoirs, and it's likely we will enter into canal rotations again coming off of Deer Creek system, which is Scotts Flat. The flange installed over the intake tunnel appears to be leaking, and in order to safely perform the remaining repairs, PG&E needs to drain the tunnel. These safety requirements will prevent the flow of water until the work is completed. PG&E is currently assessing options for repair. We will continue to monitor and report on this situation as it develops. Last week, County Chief of Staff Jeff Thorsby reported to the Board of Supervisors on the impact of federal budget cuts on programs that Nevada County residents count on. Now that the continuing resolution, or CR, has been approved by both houses of Congress and signed by President Trump, we await the timing and actual impacts from the new budget. Areas identified in last week's board meeting included Medicaid, SNAP, temporary assistance for needy families, and the VA. The impact of these cuts have been felt on a personal level. In discussions that followed Thorsby's presentation, Supervisor Lisa Thwarhout remarked that 2 VA doctors recently retired will not be replaced. One of those doctors provided care for her 90-year-old father, who will now need to use TeleMed virtual provider service. Time will tell how veterans who have long been accustomed to personal care will deal with the impact of virtual care. Nevada County Board of Supervisors agreed to create a resolution addressing the impact of federal funding cuts to wildfire prevention, veterans, and common social programs to be reviewed in the next board meeting. This resolution will be submitted to Congressman Kevin Kiley, as well as Senators Adam Schiff and Alex Padilla. On Thursday, March 20th at 5:30, the Indivisible Nevada County is hosting a town hall at the Miners Foundry. An invitation was extended to Representative Kiley, but the likelihood of him attending is low. If he does not attend, there will have local speakers. The goal of Indivisible, a nationwide nonpartisan organization, is to protect democracy. The local chapter is a women-led organization hoping to accomplish this by supporting individuals in civic engagement and political leadership. They educate, engage, and inspire people to realize their potential to drive meaningful change in the best interests of our community, working families, and the environment. They focus on productive, healthy dialogue and empowerment. We will continue to report on this and other activities that help our community stay engaged. Don't go away. We'll be right back with a special guest.
One of our goals as an agency is to bring that awareness that in our community there's still needs out there for firewood, especially in the senior population, and that together as a community, we can meet that need.
Each year gets a little harder and a little harder, but just seeing this, I feel like one of the lucky ones.
Our guest tonight is a dedicated environmental activist passionately advocating for sustainable practices and climate action. She has a deep commitment to preserving natural ecosystems and has worked tirelessly to promote policies that combat pollution, protect wildlife, and encourage green energy solutions. Through grassroots organizing, public speaking, and policy initiatives, she has inspired communities to take meaningful steps toward a healthier planet. Her work continues to drive awareness and change, making a lasting impact in the fight for environmental justice. Please help me welcome Barbara Rivines. Nice to meet you, Barbara.
Well, hello.
Welcome.
It's very nice to be here, and what nice things you've said.
Well, it's Women's History Month, and so you are one of the people we want to focus on as having such an impact in our community, so thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
So we had a little bit of time before the program to talk, but it sounds to me like you have been involved in environmental justice from the time you were much younger. Is that true? Can you tell me how you got started?
That's absolutely true. Well, we moved to California in 1967, and so I'll begin there. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
But moving to California from the East and Midwest, California is such an amazing place. I just could not get over the impact that it had on me and my family. So we spent a lot of time in the out of doors, enjoying the fruits of California's wonderful landscapes. It did, I think, push me toward moving into environmental work, actually. Not work so much. I was raising children. Sure. My husband was working. We moved here because he's involved in computers and so on. So I began right away with Sierra Club because I knew of, and my husband began with Audubon.
Okay.
Both very, very worthwhile organizations. So when we moved here in about 30 years later, and we've been here about 30 years, that tells you how long we've been married, which is a long time. But I immediately gravitated toward that. And there is such a wealth of wonderful, wonderful organizations here that I could get involved with like-minded people. And I did, and my husband did. And so we've pursued that. I've been on Circle's board and the council, what did I say here? Watershed Council. I couldn't remember.
Sure.
Watershed Council.
Yeah.
And currently Don is spending more time than I am on the Nevada County Climate Action Now group. But I'm a part of one of the committees, which is Waste Not, and which we try very hard to encourage people not to use as much plastic.
Now, I know that you worked hard with the county to instruct local organizations and stores and so on about what SB, I forget what it's 270, right?
Yeah.
What SB 70 meant, but that was, the idea of charging per plastic bag.
That's right.
And bringing your own bag, and how you can, remind people to take bags out of their cars and to use the bags. But that got rescinded during COVID, and it has pretty recently been reinstated, as I understand it.
That's absolutely correct. And the kinds of heavier plastic that the grocery stores sort of depended on, not the little thin silver single-use plastic.
Right.
That's one of the things that still is a problem, but will not be a problem shortly, the heavier use plastic. It was worse than single-use plastic,
because the plastic waste increased during the time.
That's absolutely
and so
right.
that's just
You've done your homework.
It's an irony, right? So now this new weight of plastic bag is going to be more prominent, more predominant, I should say.
No, that's being taken away from us, actually. So we're either going to use our own bags,
Right.
which is the best way to go,
Sure.
or paper bags.
Yes.
And I believe, unless it has changed, and things are changing rather rapidly these days,
Yes.
as we know, single-use plastic bags, the kind we get to put our lettuce and all the veggies in,
Yes.
that is going to be discontinued, I believe, at the end of this year,
Interesting.
completely. So
I noticed that at the co-op at Briar Patch that the vegetable bags are a different consistency. I asked one of the workers, and I guess it breaks down. You don't want to store your veggies in those in the fridge.
It's more compostable.
Compostable,
as they say.
right? It feels like it's going to compost in my
I
hands.
agree, and it's a little on the it's something that I hadn't seen before. I saw it also at Briar Patch.
Yeah.
But it's very important to bring your own bags, and they have a wonderful sign, and that's what we were trying to get across to our local grocery stores, that it would be wonderful if they had a reminder sign.
Promote it.
And move it so that when people were close to their cars, we could go ahead.
Because how many times have I walked into the store and said,
exactly right.
I got to run to my car. So
well, or you can also, the alternatives are, of course, that you could put all of your groceries, if it's not too much, you could put them back in the cart.
And there are times where I kind of throw it in my purse, just so you can tell how big my purse is, right?
So there's lots of ways.
Yeah.
There are ways that we can move around this, I think, comfortably.
In addition to this plastic bag initiative, Waste Not, Bring Your Own Bag, BYO Bag, I think it's called,
Yes.
BYO Bag
You've done your homework.
campaign. Microplastics are quite a big topic, and can you tell us a little bit about what's going on locally with microplastics awareness and education?
I frankly am not aware that there is much going
Interesting.
on yet. There have been articles in the paper,
Yeah.
and there are certainly articles online and on other organizations or or other websites
Right.
that talk about how dangerous they are, particularly to younger children,
Or
babies.
nursing moms.
It's everywhere.
Yes,
it's
yes,
absolutely
it is.
everywhere.
I think
So
I read
can't-
somewhere that 90% of protein sampled in processed foods and bottled water contain microplastics, which is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
I totally agree
Yeah.
with you.
So-
But I'm not absolutely sure where that is going, and particularly where that is going today. Things have changed a lot in the last couple months is all.
Right.
And there are just so many things. I worry, yes, microplastics is something we definitely need to worry about personally and need to find out as much as we can and do it for our own sakes very much, aside from around the rest of us. However, other things, they're changing things in our forestry practices and so on. We are probably going to lose more trees than we had. And trees are something we need to protect us against this word called climate change, which is something that seems to be absent from much thinking these days. Everyone is so worried about that. And there are so many things that we are concerned about.
If you were to give our viewers two little tips about what they can do in their personal lives to make an impact on the environment, what would you suggest that they do?
Well, I would say simple. Bring your own bag.
Bring your own bag.
And I always congratulate people when I'm in line with them and they have got their bags with them. But on a higher level, there are things one can do around their homes. Actually, you can, you can change some of the amount of air that leaves your house so that you don't use quite so much heating. You can try, and if you're considering buying a car, you could consider an electric car. There are really a lot, and I believe that I will endeavor to produce a sort of a checklist of things we can do. It's very long, actually. Turn off lights was what we used to do about 20 years ago when we were first
I think
told.
that would be really helpful. In fact, I went to the website of the organization you're connected with, Community Environmental Advocates, and they have quite a lot of suggestions there.
That's right.
Too. Maybe you could publish that great checklist on that.
And we'll try and have it around places. We're going to be having an Earth Day fair soon. I hope people will come.
April 22nd is Earth Day. Okay.
Right.
All
And
right.
there will be an Earth Fest in Nevada City.
Okay.
Plus other places around. And we will endeavor. We will do it. We will get.
I believe you. I believe you, Barbara. Well, let us know when you have more details about the fest, Earth Day Fest in February, in April, and we'll be happy to let our viewers know about that. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank
to
you for
meet
all
and
your
to
work.
Be here. Thank you.
Wonderful to have you. Well, folks, thank you for watching this edition of Nevada County Now. If you would like to help contribute or write stories, appear on a show, or even become a host, please check out the details on our website at nevadacountymedia.org/NCN. This program is local news and information brought to you by locals. We are going to leave you tonight with a few pictures of kids showing off their snowmen. Remember to stay safe, take care of each other, and get out there and explore all this community has to offer. Good night.